Hi, welcome to Business Forward. This is Travis Markwood with the Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce. And today we're on site at Personal Touch Party Rental here with Carol Winnington, owner-operator. Carol, how are you?
Good. Very good, Travis. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad to be here. Longtime Chamber of Commerce member and partner. We use you guys for a lot of different events that we do, including our annual dinner. So we're glad to be out here today and talk a little bit about what you do. And we're standing kind of in your showroom. And let's talk a little bit about how you got started, how long you've been in business, and why you thought opening a party rental business was a good idea here in Lancaster.
Well, actually, we've been in business for 11 years, over 11 years here in Lancaster. We've been in two different locations. Our first location was over on Edie Road. Outgrew that place a little bit. This building became available. It's been a real good home for us for the last 4.5 years. We got into the business partially because my brother and my dad already had some tents, tables, and chairs that they were renting out just for small parties, graduation parties, and things like that. And this business became available, and we decided that we would just go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, you haven't looked back since, and I think you've added a lot of different services and products that you offer to your customers. Let's talk a little bit about those. Again, we're standing in the showroom. I see things like a portable bar area, serving platters. Let's talk a little bit about some of those things that folks can rent.
We have. I think from the very beginning, we started out with just basics, tents, tables, and chairs, and they were very basic. Banquet tables, some round tables, things like that. You know, one or two styles of chairs. We have increased our inventory quite a bit with the number of tents that we have, with the style of chairs that we have. You know, and with graduations, weddings, and corporate events, you have to keep up with the times,
Sure.
you know, so you have to have that new, I'm not going to say cutting edge, but you need to keep up with the times
Sure.
with your inventory and have some new things to offer for those folks when they come back in.
Right. Let's face it, when people are planning a big event, you know, and their reputation's on the line, it's important to make sure that not only the equipment is in good working order, but it's stylish as well, I'm sure.
Exactly, yes, yeah. I've over the years also become a planner. I didn't know that I was going to be doing that. You know, when
Like
I
it or
was
not, huh?
yeah, when I was a junior in high school planning the junior senior prom, I didn't know that this was going to be where I would land at this
Gotcha.
point in my life. But with our customers, the planning also comes with that service. I mean, we provide that service. We know that when they come in, they don't know what size tent they need. They don't know what style of chairs or what style of tables they want. The color of linens that we have. You know, we try to at least guide them. You know, we don't hold their hand, but at least we, show what we have to offer and give them a lot of different choices.
Sure. So what you're saying, I mean, this is really a full service party rental facility. I mean, you can get anything from the tables, the linens, the place settings. I mean, it's a one-stop shop when you're planning an event.
It is, yeah, really it is. We have a lot of things that we have to offer that people don't even know about. That, not everything is listed on our website. So I try to entice them to come into the storeroom, and just see what we have.
Right. I'm looking across the showroom here. I see like snow cone machines and popcorn machines. Those are things you don't think about, right?
We do have concession supplies, and a lot of those go out for fall festivals and even springtime at the end of the year for schools. They have parties, PTOs come in, schools come in. So yeah, we even have the goodies over there too.
Excellent. Let's talk a little bit about your capabilities in terms of the size of events that you can accommodate. And how many tables and chairs it's possible for you to bring to an event. We were kind of talking about that before the show started. You really can scale from as small of an event as you're doing to as large.
We
correct?
can. We can do anything from a 1-year-old birthday party in the backyard, where mom and dad want to have a tent and have both sides of the family in because it's a big thing for the first birthday.
Right.
Or we can do up to whatever size wedding you need. Just a couple of weeks ago, we did probably a 400-person wedding.
Okay.
We've done more than that. That requires a lot of tents and a lot of tables and a lot of chairs. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about the size of tents that you offer, and you see some of these tents around at different events, and they're always very nice and they're sturdy and they hang in there. Tell us a little bit about the size of those tents.
We do. We have increased our inventory in the technology tents. Well, those are the tents that we have chosen. Those are the tents that we prefer to work with. They start with anything from a 10 by 10. They go up to a 10 by 20, a 20 by 20. We have 20 by 40s. We can make. The nice thing about the technologies is they're modular tents, so we can put any number of those together. We have a hexagon-shaped tent. And we can accommodate any number of guests and put those under, whatever size tent that they would need. The nice thing about the technology tents is they're beautiful, they're high,
Right.
they have those high peaks. nice and white, and they just look really good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know that we want to take a look outside as well. There's a couple guys that you work real closely with, I think, that we might run into out there, and that's Eric and Jared, right?
That
and
is
these are the
correct.
guys that you're going to see roll up to your event, and these guys are the muscle behind the operations, right?
That's right.
Tables and chairs, and I can tell you from working with these guys, they are a pleasure to work with. They get the job done. They get it done quickly, and it's a piece of the planning process that you don't have to worry about. The tables are there when you need them.
That's right. And these
Yeah.
guys work hard. They really do.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's my husband Eric and my son Jared. Every once in a while, when our other son Nick is home, he decides to work a little bit too. So it really truly is a family affair.
Absolutely. Well, let's go meet some of those other family members outside.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Hi, Travis Markwood again with the Chamber of Commerce, and this is Business Forward. We're here again at Personal Touch Party Rental, and we've stepped outside and we've run into what we refer to as the muscles of the operation, the guy that's on the ground delivering tables and chairs, typically with his counterpart and son, Jared, correct?
Correct.
And Carol's joined us out here as well. Eric, tell us a little bit about, I mentioned before in working with you guys, the delivery process, in our mind, as you're planning an event, is pretty seamless. You guys kind of come in, sneak in, get the tables and chairs in there before anybody even knows it, and you're out, and it's a really nice service. Talk about how you guys accomplish some of that.
Well, Travis, we try to stay in communication with the customer, and a lot of times it's the first time that we roll up on their property. So one of the things that we try to do is evaluate the site and look at what the possibilities are that the customer might encounter during their event.
Sure.
And that might be rain that ponds, that comes down, gets under a tent. Everybody has an idea where they want the location, and we certainly try to accommodate them with what they're looking for in their event.
Right.
But at the same time, there's things that we see that they might not be aware of. Traffic flow, where parking is going to take place, what's behind the head table just for photos during the ceremony or the event that they are planning. So those are things that we look at. We like to get in a day or two before, let everything settle down, everybody calm down, because for most folks it's an emotional day when we show up.
Sure, absolutely. And again, usually a high-stress situation sometimes when you're planning an event. Like I said, everybody wants it the day to be perfect, whether it's a corporate event, again, a wedding or graduation. I didn't think about that, but you said, the site planning, how important that is. Somebody might have this is really where I want this to be, but you guys might evaluate that and find things.
Correct. One of the things we always look for is the safety of the guest.
Okay, yeah.
I do not want the guest to be uncomfortable, maybe seated in a chair that's leaning back or tilted on the hillside. And here in Fairfield, Hocking County, we do have a few of those slopes around. So we kind of look out for that for the guests, because those are things they don't even think of. They say, oh, we got a perfect place, and we look at it and say, okay. And we certainly try to accommodate their wants and their needs, but at the same time, I always instill upon them the safety of their guests, because that's the most important part.
Yeah.
We can always replace equipment if something happens,
Sure.
but nobody wants anybody to get hurt.
Yeah. Now, we talked a little bit about how small of an event you guys can accommodate and how large of an event. What's one of the bigger events that you've done in terms of tables and chairs?
I guess one of the first things that comes to mind is, of course, the chamber dinner. We're always involved with it. Not so much tables and chairs and a number, but the total event with all the different customers that we've come to know and do business with over the years. Probably the largest table and chair, maybe the Perry County Gun Bash. We move in almost 1,000 chairs in one stop. We do the Sweet Corn Festival up in Middlesport. That's a huge event too, and it's always amazes me how we move in 2,300, 2,400 chairs. They all disappear on Wednesday night at parade night, but when we come back on Saturday evening, they're all back. I don't know where they go. They're up and down that parade route.
That says a lot for the community.
Yes,
People
it
aren't
does.
taking the chairs home, right?
Yes, it does.
Good deal. Now, when you deliver, we're standing out here by some of your equipment. You've got a couple box trailers here. That's typically the delivery method?
That's the main delivery method. Sometimes during graduation season, we get a little overwhelmed with the number of stops, so we'll jump in a budget truck and run that around. Basically, with the budget truck, we just use it for maybe tables and chairs, stuff that one guy can handle and work just to accommodate folks in the time schedule.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned the budget trucks, because that's something else that you do here, correct?
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about what your fleet looks like and what you can do and order here.
We rent budget trucks out. We're just a dealer for budget.
Okay.
Anybody can make a reservation online. They can call in and make a reservation.
Okay.
We don't actually own the trucks. They move them in.
Sure.
We move them out. So we don't really know what we're going to have unless we have a reservation. Then we can try to accommodate everyone. We've done budget trucks for a number of years, and we didn't know really whether we wanted to do them or not. It brings in a different clientele of people, though, people that maybe didn't have an event that they were planning and didn't know that we were here. So, after they bring their truck in or
Right.
rent one, it's kind of nice because now they know where we are.
Sure, absolutely. And the sizes? Do you guys have different sizes?
There's 3 different sizes. There's a 10-foot, a 16-foot, and a 24-foot. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're either available for local rental or for one-ways.
Perfect. Okay. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure, Eric, seeing you
thank
and talking with you again. And keep up the hard work. And
All right.
we'll see you at annual dinner time here in a few months.
Very good. Thank
All
you,
right,
Travis.
thanks. Well, I think we're going to walk back inside. I want to meet with Carol again and talk a little bit about specifically some of the different table settings and things that Personal Touch offers. Hi, welcome to the Young Professional Spotlight, brought to you by Crowd Communications. We're here today in downtown Lancaster at Art and Clay, and with me today I have Morgan Lyles. She's an associate attorney and with Stapleton, Aranda and Snyder here in town. Neighbors right above the Chamber of Commerce. We get to see Morgan quite often. And Morgan, you participated in our leadership class last year, so that's kind of how we got to know you. But let's get to know you a little bit more and learn about kind of how Morgan Lyles ended up in Lancaster, Ohio.
Okay. I originally grew up in Groveport, so nearby, and in high school I took post-secondary classes at OUL. So I spent some time in Lancaster then,
Okay.
And then went and did my undergrad at OU in Athens.
Okay, all right, good. Bobcat, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And ended up going to Capital for law school, and at the law schools, different firms come to the law schools and interview candidates for potential job openings. So 2 of our partners, Todd Petchar and Paul Hensley, came to Capital and interviewed me there.
Okay.
And then they invited me down for a second interview at the firm here in our office. And we still do that annually and interview clerks and have law students come down. And
Sure.
that's hiring for a summer position. So I worked there for a summer and then part-time my last year of law school before they offered me a full-time position.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
I've been with the firm now for a little over 2 years.
2 years, okay. And how's it going?
It's great. I
Yeah.
really like it. It's a good group, and
Yeah, they've been here for a while.
they have,
So
yeah,
it's
a long
good firm.
time and
Yeah.
constantly growing, and I've really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, good deal. Now, what exactly kind of law are you practicing there?
I do a little bit of everything,
Okay.
being the youngest member of the
Okay.
firm. Predominantly, though, my practice is family law, so divorce, custody, dissolution, child
Okay.
support,
Okay.
and some municipal court-appointed work. So a little bit of criminal,
Okay.
but a little bit of everything right now.
Okay, good deal, good
Yeah.
deal. Now, again, you spent some time in Athens, Ohio.
I did.
And much like a lot of people here in town.
Absolutely.
So that was for your undergrad, though?
It was, yep.
Okay, okay. And
right
what did you
there.
study in your undergrad?
My major was journalism at OU.
Okay, so you're a script school
I am.
graduate?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Perfect. And then you moved on to Capital. Of course, Capital, well known for their law school.
Sure.
I think a lot of the attorneys upstairs, as a matter of fact, graduated from
Absolutely,
Capital,
yep.
right?
We have many mostly Capital and OSU alumni in our office.
Good deal. Now, tell me a little bit. Is there a certain discipline that you're looking forward to as your career progresses that you'd like to focus on, maybe?
I really enjoy the family law practice, and I think that long term that'll be something that I definitely gravitate more towards, and hopefully, develop more of an expertise in as time goes on.
Absolutely. On a personal level, what are some things that you kind of enjoy doing outside of the office? Do you have hobbies? Do you have things that you enjoy doing?
Sure, absolutely. I like to work out. I like to try new restaurants. It's been great with some of the new restaurants that have opened here locally in the recent months.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like to travel when I can, so
Good.
go to concerts.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, it's certainly been a pleasure talking with you. I know we look forward to seeing you on a daily basis in and out the door of our
Absolutely.
building. So we really appreciate you participating in our Young Professional Spotlight.
Thank you.
As a company of young professionals, Cryo Communications is proud to sponsor this segment. We specialize in helping businesses and organizations get the right message to the right audience, at the right time, and in the right way. To learn more about Cryo Communications and how they can help you with your communication needs, visit them at cryocommunications.com.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Business Forward Ribbon Cuttings is brought to you by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home. Respect for tradition, regard for change. Locations in Lancaster and Baltimore. Visit them at their website at funeralhome.com.
Okay, welcome back. We've made it into the showroom again, and I'm here again with Carol, Personal Touch. And we want to talk a little bit more about the actual table settings and some of the decorations that you actually provide and how you consult with someone maybe who's coming in, getting ready to plan a wedding.
Sure. Well, it depends on what kind of an event they're planning. I mean, probably February time frame starts the graduation calls,
Okay.
First, and you can always tell the first time moms and dads, for this is the first graduate. So they really don't know what kind of questions to ask. So we ask, how many guests are you expecting? Is it an open house? How long of an event are you planning? And so we really try to help them, with that first, that first time for everything is a little difficult.
Sure,
so,
absolutely.
But it's really nice because we've got some customers that, well, this is our third. Just bring the same thing that you've brought the last 2.
Right,
So it's
right.
that's the kind of customers. Those are the kind of customers we really do appreciate.
Absolutely.
That continue to come back. But the questions that I would ask for weddings will be totally different.
Sure.
How many guests are you expecting? Where's the venue? Or what kind of property are you putting it on? So we talk about tents, the number of tables and the chairs. We also ask if they have a caterer.
Okay.
Because we
Sure.
we really do have a nice group of people that we work with.
Sure.
That are good local people.
Mhm.
That are very reliable, and
So
if
you'll
they don't,
refer a caterer.
we will
So,
refer
okay,
a caterer, a photographer,
Sure.
a DJ, things like that. So depending on the kind of caterer that they have, the caterer may provide the table service. If not, then we have china, we have glassware, we have silverware.
Okay.
We also talk about the size tables, the number of tables,
Okay.
the shape of tables that they
Right,
might want.
right.
We've got square tables, we have round tables, we have banquet tables.
Right.
We just a lot
Right.
of different options, and people really don't know that. And and I don't expect them to, because this is their probably the only event that's
Right.
this size that they're going to be
Right,
planning when
right.
it comes to weddings. And I don't mean for it to sound old hat to me, because I'll tell you what, there are days that you can get very frustrated, and
Oh,
there
yeah.
are days that you just love when people come in. And my gauge on whether I still want to do this job or not
Yeah.
is if I still enjoy a mother and daughter coming in and talk to them about their event, and if I still get excited,
Right.
that means I'm still doing
they're
what I
excited
really
and
enjoy.
You're excited with them.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a lot of thought that goes into this size and shape of the tables. And if you've ever planned an event before, you say, okay, who are we going to have sit at this table? And you're playing the whole checkers with the people and who's sitting where, and we
Right.
can only fit 8 at this table versus 10, or that can get complicated.
And seating charts, sometimes seating charts are good, sometimes seating charts are bad.
Mm-hmm.
If a bride and her mom are still sitting up at midnight, Friday night before the wedding, still trying to plan that seating chart,
Right.
they've put a lot of energy in there,
Right. People are
and
gonna have a good time
they
anyway.
will stress out. Yes, and you really don't know if Uncle Bob has a new girlfriend that he might be showing up to the wedding, and you might have to squeeze a chair in there
Of
someplace for
course.
her. So
Of course. And we always say at the chamber, when you're planning an event, that something will go wrong. No questions asked. Something will go wrong.
Absolutely.
But we say, as long as it doesn't, it's not apparent to the guest, no big deal, right?
That's right. That's
We'll
right.
work
And
through it.
normally, it's the bride and her mom are the only ones that are even going to know it. So
Exactly.
you're right. And I do tell people that all the time too.
Yeah.
Something will go wrong. Just be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. let's talk about your shop hours here and how someone can get a hold of you. The best way to learn a little bit more information if they're just doing some research and getting started.
Sure. We are actually off of North Columbus Street in Lancaster. We're on Hubbard Drive. The address is 1540 Hubbard Drive. They can contact us on the phone. Our telephone number is 740-689-6991. They can also look at our new website. We just redesigned our website this year. It looks really nice. I'm very proud of that. And they can take a look at our website. It's personaltouchparty.com.
Okay.
I like to email. I'm still old-fashioned, though, in the fact that I really do still like to talk to my customers.
Absolutely.
Even better, look at them face-to-face. And then you can read people a lot better when you're face-to-face. So, if we don't get a chance to meet, that's okay.
Right.
But I really do
Sure.
encourage people to come in just to see what we
Well,
have.
and it's definitely a good idea because you can sit in some of these chairs, get your hands on some of the stuff that you're renting out. Probably a better idea when you're planning an
Exactly.
event.
Exactly.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure being in with your business today, and we really enjoy working with you as a Chamber of Commerce member, and look forward to a continued partnership. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you've been watching Chamber of Commerce Business Forward TV show. I'm Travis Markwood. Until next time.